Here's a summary from each other. In fact, the very first article of the UN Declaration of Human Rights states that all human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights. It's the state of being equal in status, rights, or opportunities.
It's also about fairness, justice, and non-discrimination. So, born free and equal, well, you have the right to not be harassed, bullied, violated, mistreated, to go without adequate housing, shelter, food, whatever you need. You have all the rights in the world to that. So don't let the state and the government take it from you. What else do we have rights to? Don't discriminate. Don't discriminate. That's easy.
Here's what I found.
What does don't discriminate mean? What does don't discriminate mean?
According to dictionary, reverso, fall by in favor of or against to single out a particular person, group, etc., for special favor or, especially, disfavor, often because of a characteristic such as race, color, sex, intelligence, etc.
For instance, stop hating on me because I have intelligence and I know what I'm doing and I know what I'm talking about, okay? Males seem to hate on me. You don't hate on me when you want something from me, but you sure do hate on me when I prove that you're wrong and I'm right. How about that? So don't discriminate just because I'm intelligent and I'm beautiful and you can't be with me. How about that? I'm just saying. I'm being an asshole now. Right to life. Everybody has the right to life. Tell me what it means to have right to life.
According to Equality and Human Rights Commission, Article 2 of the Human Rights Act protects your right to life. This means that nobody, including the government, can try to end your life.
Public authorities should also consider your right to life when making decisions that might put you in danger or that affect your life expectancy. So, noting that the state of Vermont abused my vulnerable daughter, gave her the wrong medications, that's medical malpractice, nearly killed her by having her on the wrong medications, got her addicted to medications when she was a young child, a young teenager, okay? That wasn't me that did that. That was the state of Vermont. Mary Hare, DCF. And why? Because they lured my daughter and had a sexual interest in her. Yeah, that was Homeland Security Supervisor Jeffrey Hare. Tell me I'm a liar? My daughter had to have a pregnancy test a week before she turned 15. The culprits were Kevin, Jeff Hare, and it could be Michael Knox too. I don't know. It'll come out though. Right to life. So we told you what that means. That means nobody has the right to violate you. No slavery. What does no slavery mean?
According to Equality and Human Rights Commission, Article 4 protects your right not to be held in slavery or servitude, or made to do forced labor.
That means sexual labor as well, TJ Donovan. Why was my daughter sexually abused and physically abused? And I reported it July 17th, 2021 to Rutland Police Department. What happened? They denied to clear or even investigate the charges. I had posted it all to YouTube. You all heard it. You're my witnesses. No torture. What does it mean, no torture?
According to Liberty, this means laws must be put in place to protect people from torture or other ill treatment. It also means public officials must act to protect people from harm inflicted by others.
That doesn't mean that the government can inflict it on others, like TJ Donovan did, Vincent Aluzzi, and the rest of them that are underneath them. My daughter was abused. She was wrongfully medicated. She was over-medicated. And then she was abused. Involuntary hold. And her son taken from her. Rights everywhere I go. What does it mean to have rights everywhere I go?
According to Medium, this article states that everyone has the human right to be recognized everywhere as a person before the law. In turn, this means that no matter where you are in the world, you have the legal right to be accepted and treated as a person.
So why am I discriminated on and hated against all the time? 021766, multi-level society living. That is a case ID number. I'm no longer listed as a client ID, Social Security Administration. I'm a case ID. So that means that they're trying to get rid of me. I'm listed as multi-level society living 021766. Look it up. That means fidget and feuding. I'm supposed to be by myself and y'all are supposed to not help me. You're supposed to just let me die. Okay? Seriously, I've got the paperwork to prove it. I even showed it and I talked about it, and I even had conversation with Richard Frazier from the Waterville Social Security Department back in May and June about this. All equal before law. What does it mean to be all equal before law?
According to Queensland Human Rights Commission, every person has the right to enjoy the person's human rights without discrimination. Every person is equal before the law and is entitled to the equal protection of the law without discrimination.
That means when Kevin was writing false reports and calling in false reports and statements about me to the Vermont State Police, and they charged me without talking to me, that means that they violated me because they didn't treat me equally. Okay? Human rights protected by law. Human rights protected by law. What are they?
According to the United Nations, human rights include the right to life and liberty, freedom from slavery and torture, freedom of opinion and expression, the right to work and education, and many more.
Okay. Everyone is entitled to these rights without discrimination. So why was it that the landlord tried to set me up, or did he, and tell me that he was going to give me $75 either cash or towards my rent to give me something to do so that I could clean the hallways and around the apartment building because the COVID thing, and there was nothing going on but a wintry cold fucking mess out there, okay? And I wasn't allowed to do that because Kevin wrote false and fictitious reports leading to me being charged, and then the landlord telling me. But I think it was all a conspired story anyways. But anyway, but that's, just part of, that's just an example, okay? No unfair detainment. What does no unfair detainment mean?
According to Youth for Human Rights, no unfair detainment. No one shall be subjected to arbitrary arrest, detention, or exile.
So why was it that I was charged and then kicked out of my home, same as my daughter, without any kind of eviction or anything, locked out, lost our stuff and everything? That's called exile. That's a federal crime. So, knowing that the landlord came to me in April 1st and told me inside my apartment that there were people after me and I needed to take my daughter and grandson. He couldn't believe these are the people that were after me, but he won't tell who was after me. I already know that it's the government agencies. I know it is. I'm not stupid. And I know who the directors are. Not all of them, but I know some of them. They're the same role players that have been doing this since 2006. And they're all government and state officials. So why is it that you people aren't listening? That's why I have to go to D.C. and stand on the steps and holler it out. Because you people aren't listening. But you people also don't have the balls or vagina enough to do that either, do you? Some of you maybe. But not all of you. So no unfair detainment. They shouldn't have locked me out of my apartment. They shouldn't have charged me. They shouldn't have come with a search warrant and hold me there in the kitchen for like 20 minutes. It's all on audio record. I still shared it again to YouTube. That search warrant, okay? And still a no contact order in place. These are all violations, and I'm reading them to you, and I'm having them read to you to back me up that I'm not lying to you. So maybe one day you people will start saying, maybe I ought to pay attention. Maybe you'll say I'm not as crazy as I am, but I'll take a defense or offense to that, actually, because I like being crazy. Keeps you all away from me. Peace and tranquility. That's what keeps me young, happy. And no, I don't do drugs there. What was his fucking name? I can't remember his name. He's always on here commenting anyways. Saying that I was holding a crack pipe. No, I was holding my weed pipe. Don't be peeping in my windows. You're fucking peeping, Tom. Right to trial. What does it mean to have a right to trial?
According to Amnesty International, under international human rights law, no one can be detained without a legitimate reason, and anyone accused of a crime has the right to a fair trial.
I haven't had a right to a fair trial on these charges that the judges already said they were false. And he already said that the cops didn't do anything to assist me. And I already said I wanted a dismissal. I've already been through 2 attorneys because they were conflict of interest. There's not one attorney in the state of Vermont that's not a conflict of interest in my cases. Because he either worked for TJ Donovan, related to, went to school with, worked for, slept with, I don't know, you name it. It's conflict of interest, even with the judges. How about that? They might even be related to me. Who knows who's related to a Howe? They tried to put Mr. Howe, Attorney Howe, Judge Howe, from Derby, Vermont on the case. But he had to be removed real quick because he's a relative. And then again, TJ Donovan, I know that when I was engaged to Donovan from Ipswich, Mass., Sugar Hill Police Chief, that's a pretty close match to the family of TJ Donovan that comes from the same area, so it's very fair to say to me that I have all reason to believe in 9 to death that this could be conspired. He hates me because of my ex-fiance being a family member. How about that? And the other fact being that my family is who it is, so it's Donovan against Howe's. That's pretty much what it is. I full-heartedly believe. So, right to trial, I haven't had a right to a trial. I haven't had a fair hearing. I've had nothing. I was unjustifiably charged with false and fictitious reports and charges and statements against me. So was Brianna. Innocent until proven guilty. What does it mean to be innocent until proven guilty?
According to Wikipedia, the presumption of innocence is a legal principle that every person accused of any crime is considered innocent until proven guilty.
That's common sense. I shouldn't have to explain it to you. But let me give you an example. My daughter got beat up. I got the evidence. I got the proof. And I'm an eyewitness to the fact that a lot of this has been going on. Audio recordings shared to YouTube. So y'all are witnesses that you heard it. So why is it that Brianna got locked up, put in a hospital, drugged up, and her son taken away from her? Lost everything she had. And the one that committed the crimes is the one that ended up with everything that we had. How about that? How does that work? Is he a paid informant? Because, see, be a badass thing to find out that a paid informant by the state and the government committed a crime, right? And got caught trying to commit crime and set somebody up. That's what happened here. Right to privacy. Tell me what it means, right to privacy.
According to Legal Information Institute, Cornell University, 1. The right not to have one's personal matters disclosed or publicized. The right to be left alone. 2. The right against undue government intrusion into fundamental personal issues and decisions.
Do you need to hear that again? Why did you write false reports about me and bring the cops to me with a search warrant? You did that? Why did Jeffrey Noyce threaten my life? Why did my home and my car and my mail come up missing in Barnet? All in the same category. Vermont State Police, TJ Donovan, right? Vincent Aluzzi, Vermont State Police, all these same people. Did you hear that? They took my stuff. I have the right. I have the right to my stuff. And they took my stuff. And that's all I got to say about that. See you in Washington.